Every single time a company charges you for something, that little piece of data goes on a pretty critical journey. And its status in the system, well, that decides if the company actually gets paid or if that data just gets lost. So let's follow that journey.
Just picture a massive company, right? Like your phone provider or your electric company. We're talking millions, sometimes billions, of little transactions every single day. So how on earth do they make sure every single one is right? Well, the answer lies in a really powerful but surprisingly simple system for managing statuses.
So, to really get this, we're going to do something kind of cool. We are going to follow the life of just one single piece of data, what we call a billable item. We'll track it from the second it arrives in the system all the way until it's ready to show up on your bill.
All right, here's the game plan. First, we'll look at its raw arrival. Then we'll see what it takes to get ready for billing. We'll also check out this interesting accepted holding pen. And finally, we'll wrap up with why all of this matters so much.
Okay, our journey starts right here, at the very beginning. Think of this as the system's front door. This is where the data first shows up, and, well, it's often a bit messy. It's not always perfect. This first stage has a perfect name, raw. It's also known as status 0. You can almost think of it like a data waiting room or a triage area. All this information comes flooding in from other systems, but it's just not ready for prime time. It might be missing something important or have a few details that don't quite add up.
And you know what? The most important thing about this raw stage is that it's super flexible, and that's totally by design. The whole idea is that the data can be incomplete, it can be inconsistent. Why? Because that gives the system a chance to fix it, to change things, and add the missing pieces before it goes any further.
So what exactly makes data raw? Well, it could be missing something really crucial, like, say, the contract account number. Without that, the system has no idea who to charge. And while it's in this raw state, you can edit it all you want. But here's the kicker. The actual billing engine can't even see it. It's basically invisible, just sitting there in a special table waiting to be fixed. And, super important point, it's not making the company any money yet.
All right, so once our little piece of data gets all cleaned up, everything's checked and double-checked, it gets to graduate. It moves on to the next, and arguably most important, status.
And here it is, status 2, billable. This is the big one. It's the green light, the finish line, the whole shebang. When an item is billable, it means it's perfect, it's complete, it's consistent, and it is ready to be turned into revenue. This is basically the VIP lounge for billing data.
Now, the rules to get here are really strict, and for a very good reason. The system demands that these items are both complete and consistent before anything else can happen. Think about it. When you're about to create an invoice, there's absolutely no room for error.
So, to earn that billable status, every single required field has to be filled in and correct. No exceptions. At this point, it's ready to be fed directly into the billing machine. And here's a cool little shortcut. If the data arrives perfectly from the get-go, it can totally bypass that whole raw stage and jump straight to billable. Super efficient.
So let's just boil it down. Raw means incomplete, and you can still mess with it. Billable means it's complete, consistent, and locked down, ready for the invoice. It's that huge leap from being data that's waiting to data that's working.
But wait a minute, what happens if something looks a little off? What if an item, whether it's raw or already billable, needs to be pulled aside for inspection? Well, that's when our data takes a little detour into what you could call the holding pen.
This is called the accepted status. And there are actually two types. Status 1 for items that were pulled from the raw pile, and status 3 for those pulled from the billable pile. Now, this is really important. This is not an error. It's a deliberate choice to pause an item and take a closer look. So why would you do this? It usually happens for one of two reasons. First, someone does it manually. A person, an operator, might see a bunch of charges that just don't look right, and they can flag them as accepted to stop them from being billed incorrectly. The other reason is automatic. Say an invoice gets reversed or canceled. The system is smart enough to automatically move all the items from that invoice into this accepted status. It's like a safety net.
And this is what that control panel actually looks like for a person. An operator can look at a screen just like this one, see all the data items, and have total control. See those functions? They can literally click on something suspicious and hit accept to pull it from the line. And once they've figured out the problem, they can hit restore to pop it right back into the queue.
And that's the main thing to remember about accepted items. It's not a dead end. It's more like a pit stop.
As soon as the issue is sorted out, those items can be put right back where they were, either back to raw or back to billable, so they can finish their journey.
Okay, so we've followed our data point all over the place. Let's zoom out now and look at the big picture. Why does any of this stuff actually matter?
This table right here, this is basically everything you need to know all in one spot. Let's run through it real quick. Status 0, raw, incomplete data, so nope, can't be billed. Status 2, billable, complete and consistent. This is the only one that can be billed, yes. And then you have statuses 1 and 3, accepted. They've been pulled aside, so they can't be billed either, at least not until someone restores them. It's a really clear system of checkpoints, isn't it?
When you get right down to it, this whole system is really about three things. It's about control over just an insane amount of data. It's about accuracy, making sure every single charge is right. And it's about making sure the company's revenue stream is rock solid and correct.
So, the next time you open a bill, just remember every line item on there went through a whole journey. That simple status, it's not just a label. It's literally the difference between a random piece of data sitting in a table and actual cash in the bank. Makes you think, right? What other invisible systems like this are out there quietly making sure all our daily transactions are accurate?